This is Fleet and Footy on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, sponsored by a live credit union.
Welcome back to another episode of Fleet and Footy, your home all things for Jacksonville Armada FC. I'm Louis Laurandi, and the first match is just one day away, and we've got a great show lined up for you today. Today, we're joined by Armada midfielder Sebastian Zettl to talk about the squad's mindset and what fans can expect in the season. As you saw there, that graphic, our first home game is tomorrow night at Edward Waters, 7 p.m. at Nathaniel Glover Community Field and Stadium. Seba, it's a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thanks for having me.
Good. I'm. We've been talking about this all season, Stuart and I, about how much content and how much better the show is just going to get, because we constantly will have something to talk about, and it's so nice to have players in the studio. I know you're back in town only momentarily, but how's your time been so far in Duval County?
Good. It's good to be back. You know, a lot of good memories that I have here in Jacksonville, and it's always a pleasure to be back in the 904, yeah.
Vibes are high, obviously. First game of the season. So, we went through the roster a couple weeks ago. There's some new names on there. How do you think these new guys are fitting in with some of the guys who have been here last year?
No, like 100%, all of them fit the team, fit what we want to do at Armada perfectly. Like, the chemistry within 3 days is really rare to see. Like, players come in, play together for 3 days, and the vibe is already that good. So I'd say really good job by the coaches getting the guys in with the right mindset that know what they want to achieve with the Armada. And yeah, so I think very, very positive first impression.
Well, we like to say that you guys have had this mini preseason, only a couple practices here, but you did just end your college season at Florida Atlantic University, the Owls. Go Owls.
Go Owls.
Shout out my mom. My mom graduate of FAU. Shout out Boca Raton.
Yes.
But can you just touch on what that's like over at FAU?
It's honestly, it's amazing. Like, I look back 3 years ago, I lived in Austria. Not that it's a bad place, but now I wake up every day, sun is shining, blue skies, palm trees. It's beautiful. Like, honestly, Boca down there, the vibe, the people. Amazing, just amazing.
I always say South Florida is like a different country, and I love that about South Florida. You get all kinds of different mixes, and the soccer culture down there really is something else.
100%, especially now with like the big stars like Messi, Suarez, all of them joining Inter Miami. A lot of South Americans. I think you mentioned it. Obviously, that drives that. Like, stadium is full, and yeah, you can also feel with the World Cup coming up that the sport is growing. So I think we're in the right place down there.
Well, I'm curious to know, now that you mentioned the World Cup, what was your view like of soccer within the U.S. before crossing the pond?
Honestly, I came here expecting way less. Like, I came here expecting the level would be not as good as it is. Like, I explain it to my friends back home all the time, where they're like, oh yeah, but you play in the U.S. I'm like, if you would know, like, it's in a lot of ways different, but it's definitely, the level is so much higher than people back home think. Yeah.
Well, we just got a shout out in the chat from Derek. Derek's looking forward to seeing you score a Panenka on Miami Dutch Lions on May 31st.
No, we're not bringing it up. It's okay.
All right, not yet. We're not bringing up goals yet. But just touched on it there. You said Austria. Can you talk me through how you even got over here in the first place?
For sure. So I was playing my whole life for a pretty big team in Austria.
Sturm Graz.
Exactly. They're the current champions over there. And yeah, at some point I felt like I was stuck in my development, and I thought about what am I going to do? Am I going to play lower leagues and grind it out, or come here and kind of pay for my education with playing soccer? And I think that was the right decision to come over here, kind of have the chance to give myself a whole new personality, because nobody here knows me. Like, I come here and I kind of determine myself who I want to be, and I think that has worked out for me pretty well.
What was that recruitment process like specifically to try to convince you to come over to Florida Atlantic?
Not that hard. Not that hard, to be honest. First of all, the location is insane. Also, my coaches at FAU, like they showed me that they really wanted me and that I had my spot in the team, and that was something that I was really looking for in the process. And yeah, also my eligibility was not that easy to sort out. So, but he was like, "We got that." So, yeah.
Well, you were with the club last year. You know what that atmosphere is like at some of these games. We actually just posted a picture last week of the crowd at Edward Waters Stadium in our last playoff game from last year. Can you just speak on, the fan culture? Just because I feel like we don't get that much respect in the U.S., especially at an NPSL level.
No, 100%. Like even at FAU, like the students come out and stuff. It's nice, but here in Jackson is something different. Like I missed it from the day I left. Like the fans, how much they pour into the club, and you can really see how much it means to them. And they support us all the time. They're loud. After the game, they're waiting for us. We have fans traveling 8-9 hours at times to come see our away games, and that's something that we really don't take for granted. Like that's something we value a lot, and it means a lot to us players that we have such a big supporting group behind us. Yeah.
Well, I just want to know, how much does that actually make an edge to a game? I've played at a way lower level. Highest I got was Florida high school soccer. All right, but does that those drums, that smoke, the singing, does that make you guys raise your game up to the next level?
100%, because it makes you feel like you're playing for more than just yourself. You know what I mean? You see, okay, like those people, they come out here, they have all of those fires prepared, they have their songs, they're there to have a good time, see us play, and that's what means a lot to them. And we, as a team, see that, pick up the energy from them, and it helps us a lot prepare for the games. And coming out, seeing, okay, they're there again, it's like, we gotta show up. Like that's what we have to do. It's not a choice. It's like you go out and you make them fans happy. Yeah.
We talked about Ed Waters, that playoff game last year. Obviously didn't go the way that we wanted, but that season leading up into the playoffs was fantastic. Is there something different that you think Coach Krzanovich is really focusing on this year to try to get you guys past that last hump?
Well, I think Tommy does an amazing job of preparing us for every game, but I think the feeling that the players that are returning especially have from losing that game is going to be what's going to drive us. Okay, now we have unfinished business here, We want to win our conference. We want to go nationals. We want to go as far as we can, do our best to bring a championship to Jacksonville. And yeah, so that's the message that the key players, the returners, want to also deliver to the team. And I think we're doing a great job with it.
Well, we like to say that the Armada plays this high, flying, attacking football. That would be one of my reasons to come out to the match tomorrow. If there's someone watching the show right now and is kind of on the fence of, whether they want to go to the match or not, what would you say to them?
I'd say come out, because the attacking talent that we have in our squad is really, really high. And also our defenders are insanely solid, like good players. And I think that we're gonna do a firework tomorrow and make the fans happy and show them, especially because it's the first game. Everybody's hyped up, not just the fans, also the players, the staff. We're starting a hopefully great year, and I think in the end of the day, you want to be saying that, oh, I've been there at the start of it. So I think that's what I would tell them.
Kind of segues me into my next question. What is the perfect start to a match for you? This first home match, those first 10 minutes, what would be the ideal start for Sebastian Zettl?
For me personally, I always like to talk a little bit of smack to the opponents. If I find me one victim right away, that keeps me into
the mental
game.
games, the mental games.
But no, obviously, like if we score early, that would be amazing. Also, because it gets the fans involved even more, and it sets the tone for what we're gonna do in the rest of the game. So an early goal would be perfect.
We mentioned the level of play a little bit earlier. the level of play in the NPSL, once you stepped into that environment, what were you originally expecting, and what did you get out of this last summer? Because oftentimes coaches come out of these summer seasons looking for players to possibly transfer and different things like that. What did you gain from the summer personally?
Well, I'd say especially last year, because like my first 2 years in college were okay. I didn't do like great. But then last summer prepared me to go into college, and I played a really, really good season. So I think, first of all, it's a great chance for players that maybe want to transfer or go somewhere else to showcase themselves. And for me personally, it's showcasing myself for the city here, the coaches here, and then preparing myself for the college season where I need to do good as well. So I keep my chances of going pro after college as high as possible.
We got plenty of new players in the squad. I'm going to have Hamby throw up the names of the roster on the screen just so you can go through them. Is there a returning guy that really sticks out to you? Is there a new guy that you liking in training that's sticking out to you?
Well, first of all, I got to shout out my little brother. He made it over here. Yeah, it's the first time that we played together, actually, which is amazing. But yeah, so incoming guy that I thought was really, really good in the first sessions that really impressed me was Kirill. He just transferred to Marshall. The calmness he has on the ball, how he runs the game, you know. He has this kind of authority on the pitch where people listen to what he says. And that within 3 days. So I think I'm going to throw him out there as the person that impressed me the most.
Well, you mentioned how exciting our attack is this season, and it wouldn't be any more exciting if we didn't have Giancarlo Vaccaro. Can you talk about G for just a second?
We can talk about Breeze for sure. He's got something about him, you know, where it's just enjoyable to watch him play, you know. He got that little Brazilian flair, you know. He's fast. He can take on 3 guys. He can take on multiple guys at a time, can finish, can assist. Like, that's what people come out to watch, you know, that type of player. But also, I don't want to take away from the other guys. Like, Xavi just came in, and he's been doing really good in practice. The way he takes on guys one-on-one, how he finishes the plays, it's really impressive. And our 2 strikers as well. Tall guys, hold up play, and can finish. Honestly, it's really exciting to see that. Yeah.
You gotta mention it. Lewis Matten. Okay, I'm gonna mention it again. 6'5". Yeah. Wait, what is it like playing next to a guy like that?
Well, first of all, personally, really annoying because it makes me feel even smaller than I already am.
Do you wanna say the height or no? Do you wanna say your height?
Mine?
Yeah. It's listed.
5'10". Nah.
That's good.
But no, yeah, 5'9" a little bit. But like, it's all good. Nah, it's amazing because, you know, even if like teams press you high, you always have an outlet. If you want to find him, he can hold up a ball, he can head it, you know. And it's, as I said, like, he's good in build-up play. You can play with him, but also as an outlet, amazing.
We're going to talk about it a little bit later in the show after you depart, but the academy guys, some of these MLS Next guys have made that step up to the team, not just the roster, but, you know, practicing with you guys as well. How do you think that is affecting their growth in the game? You know, you're a little bit older than these guys. These guys are 17, 18. Yeah. Do you really think that helps them?
I think that's the most important part about, like, their whole development. I know it from myself. When I was their age, I was training with the pros of Sturm Graz, and it's, if you're in a professional environment where the players are better than you most of the time, that's when you adapt to the environment you're in. So they're going to grow with us, you know. They're probably going to be the ones that make the biggest step from training with us this summer out of the whole squad, because they get in a new environment and have all of this professionalism, all of those players that they can look up to, can ask questions, you know, and we're always open to help them as well. So,
well, it looks like we got a new song for Giancarlo Vaccaro, so you're going to have to set up a couple goals, Derek's saying. Hamby, I don't want to not mention the defenders and the goalkeepers, so you throw some of those guys up. There's some big names on there, like a Miles Shanley, who's been around with the club for 4 years now. A guy like Shanley, who's been in the system for so long, do you think that helps a younger guy like an academy player to come into the system and really indoctrinate them?
Yeah, 100%. Those are the guys that even me I look up to, because I'm just here for the second year now, and I know Miles has been here for time. If I have questions or anything, I always go to Miles or ask, okay, what do I do here? What can I do different? And so yeah, Miles, really, really important part of our team.
I know there's only 2 goalkeepers on the list, but it's got to be tough to go up against Jeremy Costi every day at practice.
It is. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you can be as good as a team as you want. If you don't have a keeper that you fully trust in, you're always gonna have that something back in your head where you're like, if something happened. With Jeremy, I don't have that feeling. With Jeremy, I'm so comfortable, and I think that's the biggest part. And going against him, I take myself still,
All right, before I let you go, I'm going to ask you a little bit more fun questions. Do you have a pregame ritual or routine or something specific that you do, maybe a little bit weird?
Yeah, I always wear the same tights, always. I got to put my shin guards on first thing. Shin guards and socks go on, stay on during the whole warm-up. I know not a lot of people do that. And then when I walk on the field, I usually touch my chest, and that's it.
Well, I feel like everyone has their own little different quirks and everything, so it's always nice to get a different perspective. I'm going to ask some team-focused questions now, a little bit more fun. Who's the funniest guy on the roster?
I'm going to go with my guy, Giancarlo Vaccaro. I live with him as well, so we spend a lot of time together, and I'm going to say like that, there's not a lot of sense in what we're talking about, but it's all jokes all the time, but not a lot, just.
Who has the best playlist for the locker room?
Me. me or Giancarlo. I give a little bit to him as well, but I take myself.
Okay. Who's the most competitive on the team?
You're asking questions that okay, I'm gonna exclude myself, okay? Most competitive on the team. I probably go with Kirill, just from what I've seen in the first few days. Yeah.
What's the go-to food spot in Jacksonville for you?
Go-to food spot. I think it's called Fuji Sushi.
Ah, Fuji Sushi. Yeah. Fuji
amazing.
Sushi.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel like this is a question everyone gets asked, but I always love to hear why you chose one person or the other, Messi or Ronaldo.
Messi, because I like the raw talent that he has, and he's more enjoyable to watch than Ronaldo. Ronaldo is the greatest goal scorer of all time. I give it to him, but Messi is the best player of all time.
I'd have to agree with you, Seba. I would have to agree with you. Well, thank you so much, Sebastian, for joining the show.
Of course.
These fine people at home can catch you playing tomorrow night right here on the Action Sports Jacks app or website, or they can go straight to Edward Waters University, 7 p.m. kickoff time. We'll have a fan activation area. There will be food. Ancla Dorada will be sold there. I know Section 904 will be very happy about that one. And I'm excited to see all the faces that we don't see every summer. So, Sebastian, thank you so much for joining the show.
Of course, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
When we come back in the studio, we'll talk about some Champions League, and I think we get another special guest appearance from my co-host, Stuart Weber. So we'll have a fun time with that. And make sure you guys come out May 9th tomorrow versus PSCFC Florida. That's all the home schedules, and all games will be streamed on Action Sports Jacks and the Action Sports Jacks app.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
The rhythm of my heart is beating like a drum, with we Armada rolling off our tongues. Never will we roam, for we know our place is home. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing. Where the ocean meets the skies, we be sailing.
Get local sports on demand with Action Sports Jacks 24/7. All sports, all local, all the time. From the locker room to the field, the Jacks, high school football, the Jacksonville Armada, and don't forget, the Brett and Austin Show. They're all in on Trevor. Of course. Download the Action News Jacks Now app, available wherever you stream or at actionnewsjacks.com. TV, phone, laptop, desktop. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. Jacksonville sports, all the time.
2024 provided plenty of memorable moments for the Jacksonville Armada on the pitch, including another conference championship game appearance for Tommy Krasanovich's under-23 men's team.
It's in the dying moments!
Debuting this year for the first time, the girls in blue, as the Armada fielded a women's under-23 side in the WPSL and made its presence known with some highlight moments.
Potential goal of the season!
Then attention turned to the future, with MLS Next teams representing the Armada badge in 3 age divisions this fall, including an under-19 squad ranking among the best in the state. Those teams are a big focus on Fleet Footy, covering the big soccer stories each week on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the note for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
This is Fleet and Footy on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
Welcome back. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 studio, sporting a 2025 hat, the captain's hat, we call it on the website, with nice little gold rope on it. Always have to do a Lewis fit check. Still have yet to wear the same outfit twice. No one has noticed that but me. That would be my personal goal. For at least a year. I don't know how much Armada stuff I got in my closet. But the boys in blue continue winning their ways, at least the U19 squad for the MLS Next Academy, right before they go to a very, very crucial tournament in Boyd's, Maryland, MLS Next Flex. But they got the job done this weekend. I just saw the question that really made me stop in my tracks. Why don't you bring in Stuart now? Because I got to ask Stuart this question. Stuart, does pineapple belong on pizza?
No.
It's Stuart!
Yes! He's back.
Easy answer. That's not a problem. I like that even when I'm gone, you're still able to get off topic like I am very easily. It's a hard skill to pick up really quickly, but you got it covered, man.
Well, I learned from the best. Like I told you, my motto is to be more like Stu. So, I'm trying every day, getting a little closer.
Right.
Well, the people got to know, Stuart, what's been new with you? All right.
He's got a new shirt. I mean, obviously.
What's that?
He's got a new shirt.
This is an old shirt, actually. This is Lou saying he's rocking 2025 gear. I think I'm rocking 2015 gear, if not 2014 gear with the we got here. Old school. That league doesn't exist anymore. But no matter the league, we don't give up the ship. As Section 904, this is one of the early shirts from right at the very beginning. But to answer the question from earlier, what have I been up to? Well, I had a baby, so just been enjoying some time here at home with the wife and baby Piper, and kind of settling in and enjoying all things multitasking is really what it's been. And literally, quite honestly, as I'm doing this, I got like the monitor right here, keeping an eye on the other room. Just multitasking, but excited about tomorrow night. Can't wait to get back out at the field, call the game. Of course, Action Sports Jacks 24/7, your official home for the Jacksonville Armada, all home games all season long. So I'm excited to get on the call. I was doing some name prep earlier today. Lewis, we got some guys that have like 39 different names, and I don't know what to call them. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's. I think the one that got to stick out to me is, I don't even want to say it. Puceletto Saulo Letasalo. That's a tough one. He's our South African right back. So I don't know how much we're gonna be saying his name. I think you just got to go with the Saulo there, Stuart.
We'll come up with whatever they. But then, like when you were referencing him in our possible 18 for tomorrow, it was Sanko was the name, and I'm like, which one is it? I can do Sanko. Sanko's a lot easier than Puceletto Solo Saulo. I mean, I can try and throw that one out a bunch of times throughout the course of the game if you want me to. But it should be a lot of fun. I always enjoy the names. The names are fun, and we've upped it this year, right? With the Majaliwa Sabaha, that's a good one. But I hear he goes by Mac, so that's a little easier. We'll have some fun with the names as we always do. I'll do my best. Jamal won't even try. He'll make up some new names for some of these guys by like 30 minutes into the game, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, you'll definitely be saying Bamanzi Alabarujo. I know you were looking forward to saying that one. He was one of those 3 academy boys that is on this U23 roster.
Yes, I cannot wait. Thank you, Lou, for that. By the way, you have to say it too as our public address announcer for the stadium. So you better brush up on some of these names just as much as I am.
I was gonna say I will be the voice of God within Edward Waters Stadium there. And I'm actually excited that you get to hop back into the booth. I think that's what I was worried about. I always love to hear Stuart's sweet symphonies, over the mic.
Sweet symphonies.
The sweet symphonies of Stuart.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure, Lou. We'll go with it. But you would have been just fine if you had to pinch hit. You did all the JU men's and women's games this past fall, so you are a capable understudy should be needed, Lou. So don't take anything away from yourself. You were ready for the big moment if you needed it.
Thank you. I feel like since I got you on here, I don't want to talk about the academy. I want to talk about U.S. Open Cup, actually.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So being here at home with a baby, I have drawn the night shifts quite a bit. So like I've been able to watch quite a bit of soccer here the last 2 days. I think I probably watched them 6 or 7 hours of soccer each of the last 2 days, with the Champions League games in the afternoon and then U.S. Open Cup. And frankly, I was disappointed. I was upset. I was upset because there weren't any upsets. Like MLS goes 15-1 against the lower competition. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds, the only team, which by the way, shout out to Pittsburgh, first available opportunity. They've already clinched their bonus as the second division team, because if you're the last standing team from any division, you get a nice chunk of change thrown your way. I think they bumped it up to 50K this year. I think it was 25 last year. They might have bumped it to 50. So they didn't even have to do any work. They just go and get one win, get the thing done. And sure enough, they're your last remaining team from the second division. I don't know. The MLS teams are supposed to win, right? But you want some cup sets. You want some intrigue, some excitement. Obviously, we wanted Tacoma Defiance to make a nice run as the last standing MLS Next Pro team. And unfortunately, they give up some late goals there in that game. I was following on social media, and they weren't happy with the officiating, which when are you ever happy with officiating when you lose? But here you go. Here's your results. Some of them from the round of 32. And yeah, some of these games were fun to watch. You see that Tacoma Defiance one at the bottom against the Portland Timbers. And it's funny because it's kind of like a proxy rivalry, right? Because Tacoma is the 2 team for Seattle. So, you had that Seattle-Portland thing going on where they both hate each other. And so you send some of your players to go play for Tacoma and be like, hey, go get the job done against our rivals, can you? But unfortunately, they were not able to do so. Those were the games from Tuesday and then even more on Wednesday. I mean, there was a ton of games on Wednesday. We're expecting some great games. And just Pittsburgh, the only team to come out with a win from the lower division. So I'm upset by that. I want upsets because, you can see the MLS teams play each other anytime. The point of the Cup is to see teams from different divisions playing each other. And maybe it's the way that they formatted it this year where every MLS team was going to face a non-MLS team that you were guaranteed to have that mismatch, whereas sometimes you'd have 2 lower division teams play each other in the same round, 2 higher division teams play each other in the same round, like it normally would happen. But what can you do? That's my little spiel on me being disappointed about the U.S. Open Cup.
Well, I think you've probably watched more U.S. Open Cup this weekend than I probably did. So thank you for that. Thank you for that little, that little insight.
You been busy or something?
Just a little, just preparing for the season. Just doing a couple things here and there. But, you mentioned a couple of those stories. There were some alternate stories within these big games, although the cup sets did not happen. That Tacoma-Portland game sticks out to me right away. What about the Cary, North Carolina versus Charlotte, North Carolina matchup going all the way to extra time, which I thought was pretty crazy. Then last night, you had that I-4 derby between Orlando City and Tampa Bay, and Orlando City absolutely rinsed the Rowdies. A 16-year-old scores Orlando's second and third goals, and he's actually played in MLS Next Pro and in MLS Next, so at the academy level. So we've come up against him before. You also had Rhode Island and the New England Revolution, which, Rhode Island just built their brand new stadium and packed it out for a Northeastern rival. New England get it done. And, I'd have to agree with you where it makes things more exciting. I remember last year following that El Farlito story all the way through. It really does just bring something different to the Cup.
Yeah, but what can you do? Here's your results from last night, and the one win for the lower division team there on the top left. And yeah, you mentioned it, Rhode Island and New England. I think the Revolution scored in the last moments to win that one. You had a penalty shootout for the Indy 11. I was watching that one as it happened. Our old NASL foes from Indianapolis taking on the Dupesters from Philadelphia. And that one goes to PK. That was an entertaining PK shootout. They won 5-4 in that one. So yeah, there were some great matchups and some fun soccer to watch midweek. Just didn't get any of the upsets. But what can you do? I mean, maybe because of Tuesday afternoon's barn burner, it pulled away all the soccer karma from everywhere else in the world after watching that Champions League matchup on Tuesday afternoon.
Throw us to that, Hamby. Throw us to those images, because that first matchup, I'm a Barcelona guy. I'll admit it on the show. I'm a Barcelona guy. Watched that Barcelona-Inter Milan game. Might have been, and I've watched Champions League for a little bit now, obviously not longer than people that are older than me, but one of my favorite, just in general, ties I've ever seen. I mean, the attack for both teams was just extraordinary. The defenses felt wide open. You didn't know who was going to win the game. Barcelona goes up 3-2. Get their first lead and in the leg at all in the second leg, and Inter bring it back 4-3. I don't know if you saw any of those matches, Stuart, but can you talk about it?
I was watching this one. I mean, it was entertaining, right? That's certainly what you're hoping for. And you talk about comebacks. I mean, having multiple comebacks throughout the course of that matchup, you see Barca's young star there with his hands on his head. I mean, it was unbelievable, just the way the twists and turns. And it's one of those things where it's like, how does a final live up to what this semifinal provided? And the intrigue and excitement that you got out of that Inter Milan and Barcelona matchup. I mean, it's going to be hard to capture that magic, and we'll certainly try if you want to move on to semifinal number 2 on yesterday. Not quite as exciting, but PSG and Arsenal What'd you think of that one, Lou?
This one I watched a little bit less of, but really Arsenal had a ton of attacking chances. I was about to call him Gigi Buffon. Wow, that is so bad for me. Donnarumma saved PSG on multiple occasions. Saka denied once again by the big Italian man in net. Arsenal had their chances. They just didn't take them. PSG, that attack is just so free-flowing. It kind of does remind me of that Barcelona attack. Young, exciting, talented. Desiree Doué is really just a joy to watch. I've been watching him throughout the season, and man, is it good. And it's also interesting to see that, did the Qatari experiment finally work? Will it finally work? Because still, this PSG team does not have a Champions League. I mean, we're talking about a PSG that signed Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Messi, Neymar, Cavani, and so I think it's going to be interesting to see finally, will they do it with this young squad with a lot of guys that made up from their PSG academy?
We'll find out. And the final's a single one-off, right? It's not two legs. So, where's that one being played? Do you know, Lou?
Oh my goodness! Oh my
Put you on the
goodness!
spot.
I want to say Berlin, but that might be like. I'll tell you right now. Oh, at the Allianz Arena in Germany. So, I mean that's going to be a spectacle in itself.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Picked up that scarf in that very arena.
Yeah, I also think, and as the flip side of that game is, this is Arteta's 5th season without a trophy. And, Arsenal and Arsenal fans get a lot of grief online, but, 5 years, no trophy. I really do enjoy Arteta's play style and what he puts out on the field. But do you got to change something up after 5 years, no trophy? I know Premier League's tough, but.
Yes, it is. Very tough.
Yeah, and it's just going to be interesting to see how these teams evolve. Barcelona, it feels like they're back within that 2015 era. Got this exciting attacking young talents, trying to regain what they once had in La Masia through the academy system.
Yes, those are all words that have to do with soccer. Thank you, Lou. Good setup.
Thank you, Stuart. You got to go pretty soon. It looks like you're a little antsy over there.
I'm getting antsy. You hear cries from the other room, you get antsy, but you're supposed to let them cry it out for like a second. You can't just run in there every second. There's a lot of new things being learned here, Lou, for you and me. For you, from a hosting perspective, when it comes to Fleet and Footy. For me, from a fatherly perspective, like my immediate instinct is I want to run in, grab the baby, soothe the baby, make the baby feel better. But they got to settle. They got to settle themselves. They got to learn how to do this. So we're learning. We're learning, man.
Has the baby spent any time watching soccer yet?
Yeah, baby. I mean, right now, baby is literally watching Fleet and Footy. So does that count?
And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, we got Fleet and Footy. Baby's watched a couple NASCAR races with me.
Oh,
already.
yeah.
Any Braves games?
That's good. I don't know at what point, if there's a point this season that baby will be making it out to Nathaniel Glover Community Field and Stadium. But in the meanwhile, she can certainly watch an Action Sports Jacks 24/7. So we got that
baby.
Baby help our viewership numbers as best she can. But yeah, no, it's been good spending some time here at home and relaxing and all that. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see the gang tomorrow, to see Coach Tommy K and everybody, and call some soccer. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, and I'm really jazzed up about what we're doing here on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Because in past years we would just take that broadcast feed and put it on the air, but we've decided we're going to try and figure some things out and do some live broadcasts. So it's, our camera guys, our graphic systems, all that kind of stuff. And so we're putting this extra kind of effort into it. And we have some really cool ideas on how we can make that product sparkle a little bit, right? Make that game look really good and make it a great product for the folks who can't make it out to the stadium. Now, obviously, we want everyone to come out to the stadium. We tell them every time, if you can make it out there, there is no experience like checking out the game in person at the stadium on the campus of Edward Waters University at Nathaniel Glover Community Field and Stadium. But if you can't make it, like if, I don't know, you're Sebastian Zettl's parents in Austria, you could just tune it in on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. You might have to get a VPN because you're overseas. But if you do that, then you can watch us on the network and check out what we think is going to be a tremendous broadcast and certainly the best broadcast in the National Premier Soccer League. We got that covered, right? I think we did that last year too. So we just want to make it as professional an environment as we can for the players to give them the opportunity to shine and put something together for their tape. Remember, all these guys are young, ascending players that want to play at a professional, higher level as the years go on, and having a chance to showcase their skills on something other than a grainy coach's video from 400 feet in the air certainly can help. So we're pumped about bringing you that broadcast and doing it right. I mean, we'll have a replay of Fleet and Footy leading into the game from 6 to 7, and then we get that thing cranked up right at 7 o'clock. Me and Jamal Johnson on the call, going to be a whole lot of fun. Big Lou, we didn't actually ask you, but you're doing a post-game interview, so we're making you work a little bit as well.
Talked to Brent this afternoon.
Did you? You got the lowdown?
I got the okay. Yeah, he said you're good enough to be on camera.
I mean, we're putting you on camera now, so we already made that determination, I think. But yeah, so we're just excited to see what we can do to make this as great of an experience for the folks who can't make it to the field as possible. So, we're not gonna give up the ship. We're gonna do it for the Fleet and Footy on Action Sports Jacks 24/7.
Love it.
So, really, really excited about it, man.
Well, we at least know the future of the Fleet is bright with Piper coming into the world. We'll know we'll have another Armada fan. Are you going to force her to cheer for a specific team as well, her father's team?
No,
or she could choose.
But like that's kind of how I am though. Like when it comes to global soccer, I'll pull for Fulham just because I've been to Craven Cottage the most, and that's obviously Shad Khan's team, so we get to go there whenever they're covering the Jaguars. But like I don't play favorites as much in global soccer. As far as teams I care about in the world of soccer, there's one. You're looking at it right here, Jacksonville Armada. So we care about our local team. Other than that, I like the game. I enjoy going to different stadiums, as you can see from the scarf display. I've been to quite a few of them, and I just enjoy the sport, enjoy the games, and try to hope for good games is always my rooting interest, right? I don't have this deep found hatred for teams that I know a lot of people do in all these different leagues. I'm just here to have a good time, man.
He loves the game. Stuart loves the game, and Stuart, we love you for joining Fleet and Footy. It was. I made the phone call. It was tough, and I didn't want to call you. I haven't been calling you on purpose. I know you're a busy man. Piper's keeping you busy, so I know I'm excited to see you back on the field, back behind the mic, calling some good goals. And we can't wait to see you out there.
All right, man. You take it home here the rest of the show. Looking forward to hearing about your MLS power rankings and your takeaways of the week, and of course the weird soccer story of the week. I can't wait for that.
It's a good one.
So continue to have some fun. Hambone, take care of this guy, and we'll see everybody at the field tomorrow night. And if not, right here on Action Sports Jacks 24/7.
And you can watch all the games right here, actionsportsjacks.com. Same place you're watching this show right now, Fleet and Footy. That's Giancarlo Vaccaro on the left, absolutely streaking down the wing. We're excited. Get ready. Edward Waters, tomorrow night, 7 p.m.
Ancla Dorada. The official bear of your Jacksonville Armada.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jacks, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jacks is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jacks 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
This is Fleet and Footy on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, sponsored by Alive Credit Union.
Now, Hamby, I gotta get your opinion on this. This is called Boots Only Summer. It's been going around TikTok recently, and it's officially landed in the U.S. according to this TikTok. How do we feel?
What? So wait, we're just wearing cleats all the time?
That is like the agenda.
Wearing it to school and.
I think that's what's happening right here. Is that they're wearing it to high school?
Okay.
The drip is it drip or drop?
As a one-time thing, it's something I probably would have done. I obviously never played the game of soccer, but as I could get behind this as a baseball guy wearing the cleats to school.
I was gonna bring that up, right? You know, the basketball players do it already. You're allowed to wear basketball.
That's true.
So, you know, I thought that was interesting. I had to bring that up because it's been popping up all over my feed. I gotta hear what the people need to say about that. But we'll jump right in to MLS because it was another action-packed weekend in MLS. I'm going to save it till last, but the Galaxy lost. I'll talk about more about that later because it's absolutely ridiculous that a team like that is losing. Here's my takeaways. Chucky and San Diego are on fire. That don't play with Chucky, okay? He had 2 goals, 2 assists, and a 5-0 win. That San Diego team, you'll see it keeps popping up in my power rankings. Something about them is just so interesting. The way that team's built, the way that front office has gone about, building an expansion side with such a young coach and a really solid front office. It's been really interesting to watch things in Southern California. The San Jose Earthquakes shake up the Timbers. That Earthquakes attack is just lethal. You have Chicho Arango, who was MLS MVP leader, I would say, all the way up until maybe the last couple months of the season. And Joseph Martinez, who I might be mistaken, but is number 7 all-time on MLS all-time scoring list. A strike force like that can only cause goals. Absolutely deadly. It's so nice to see Joseph Martinez come back into himself a little bit. The GOAT is back. Messi scores in a 4-1 win against the New York Red Bulls, but honestly looked pretty frustrated after coming off the pitch, feels like he wanted more out of that game for himself. We'll see if Inter Miami can turn things around now that they only have the regular season in MLS to focus on. The Caps are unstoppable. Brian White doesn't score in this game, but Sebastian Berhalter once again gets an assist. And they're just flying high between CCC, CONCACAF Champions Cup, and MLS. It's been absolutely ridiculous. And at number 5, once again, I said I was going to put them at my number 5 every week until they decide they want to win. It's the LA Galaxy. The LA Galaxy not only lose this game 1-0, Jason Hambone, okay?
Okay.
For the first time in MLS history, a team wins a game without putting a shot up.
How's that work?
The LA Galaxy's goal was
Own
an own goal.
Oh my gosh. They didn't have a shot, or they didn't have a shot on goal?
Not a shot. Not a single shot. That shot doesn't count as a shot because it goes into the net. So it's not really a real shot. It's an own goal.
Yeah, but I mean, all the time you'll see guys just like take one from 40 feet at least. What do? They just dilly-dallied around? What did they lose a possession 90-10?
It was really interesting. They got that first goal in like the first 10 minutes of the match. I want to say like the 13th minute. And they kind of just sat back and relaxed and said, okay, come at us. And it was a boring game, but
seriously?
I mean, it was incredible to watch just because of how weird it was. I've never seen such a thing in, witnessing MLS history. The league's only been around for
That's not good
30
history.
years.
I want to see the team that takes the most shots in a game of all time.
Yeah, but that's like, a couple years ago, you had the Dolphins absolutely crush like the Ravens or something that made, it's always nice to see, a little bit of craziness happen.
I guess.
Well, that takes us in to my power rankings, and I had that Miami bump up, and the reason why I keep Miami so high is because this roster is really built to compete throughout the year. It's going to be interesting to see how this translates into the playoffs, but this roster is really built for a full MLS season. Vancouver, like I said, and I keep mentioning every week, so surprised. I can't believe they're flying this high. The Crew, I should have never doubted Wilfred Nancy after losing some of his biggest stars over the summer. But they stay high at 3. Cincinnati gets a tough loss, but I don't drop them too much. Philly gets a tough win in U.S. Open Cup. Started a 16-year-old Kevin Sullivan, youngest ever Philadelphia Union player to play. That was in the Open Cup, but Philly get the win in MLS. LAFC looks kind of back. Once again, they're not fully having to rely on Denny Bouanga for all the goals. Minnesota picks up a really good win over Austin, and Austin's just been a pain in a lot of teams' sides this entire season. Really low-scoring games out in Texas. Portland drops a little bit because of that loss to San Jose. Charlotte loses big as well this weekend. I still am high on that team just because of how well they're clicking together, but would like to see them bounce back. And San Diego Football Club. I mean, this team just keeps popping up, and it's tough to put them high because we've never seen this team in a playoff run or situation. So I don't know how much I can rate them. If they keep climbing that Western Conference table, they're only going to go up. And that Chucky Lozano attack with Andres Dryers up top, the Danish forward, it's been lethal in San Diego. So those are my MLS Week 11 power rankings. I can't believe we're already 11 weeks through MLS. I want to say 8 weeks to the MLS next.
Before I pull up this picture.
It's the weird soccer story of the week. That was good?
That was good. That was much better.
The around the mic gets some.
Yep.
Last week I moved it a little bit, but this week, our weird soccer story of the week takes us to Europe. It takes us to a stadium in Europe, but a man standing on top of the stadium in
What's
Europe.
he doing up there?
I do not want to butcher this man's name.
You can butcher it. It's fine.
Oh,
I don't think he'll mind. He's got a lot bigger things on his mind.
So this is an interesting story. Comes out of Bulgaria. This head coach is banned from the touchlines here.
Oh, this is the coach.
This is the head coach of the team.
Oh,
Now,
I love this.
He was banned from just the touchlines, Emba.
But he wasn't banned from the vicinity.
But he was not banned from the top of the stadium.
And there was no way he was going to leave his team high and dry by hitting the showers early.
I mean, look at that. I mean, you want to talk about a manager who cares about his team, who doesn't want to miss a second? I mean, we're talking about...
How did he get up there?
You'll see it later on in the video, but we'll see it. This is actually Estonia, not Bulgaria. Excuse me, Estonia. This is the Nomi Kalaju manager, Nikita Andreev. Now, Nikita used to be a soccer player himself, just got into coaching just recently. In his early 30s, he was seen stood on top of the roof here. And I was reading articles, trying to find articles in English, couldn't find any of them. When I was translating them to Bulgarian, Estonian, some of them actually said that he left the roof and did not stay the full game.
Okay.
Well, I have the proof right here from the YouTube highlights. And it's not even like the broadcast didn't know that it was going on. I mean, this was not a secret.
There
See if
he
you can
is.
spot him. Not only is he up there, he's up there with his assistant coach.
He ain't hiding it.
Look at the celebration.
Oh, we're getting a solo shot of him.
I mean, how crazy is that? I've never seen a thing like that ever in soccer. I mean, this is the top flight. This is top flight football. I mean, he could have been screaming directions to his players, and they would have heard him. He's so close.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, I know the NPSL is pretty strict about red cards and suspensions. I don't know if we could have Tommy Krzanovich at the top of Ed Waters football stadium watching over. I've seen some coy stuff happen in NPSL, but I mean, that's crazy. I had to bring this up. I've never seen anything like this.
Oh, I've seen one thing like this, Lou.
Tell me about it.
This is 20 years ago, I guess we're talking, something like that. Have you ever heard of a man by the name of Bobby Valentine?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You do?
Yeah.
Who was Bobby Valentine?
Is he a baseball player?
I'm pretty sure he was a player, most notably known as a coach. And one day, he was the manager of the New York Mets. He gets kicked from the game. He said the same thing as our man from Estonia.
Oh,
I'm not leaving.
I know exactly what this is.
And so he says, hey, let me find my way to the end of the
That
dugout.
was so quick.
I need a mustache. I need some glasses. I might call a sign or two from the end of the dugout. But if one thing's for sure, I'm not hitting the clubhouse.
I mean, that might be even better. The fact that he thought that the Comedy Store glasses and mustache was going to work is amazing. I mean, that's next level.
They need to give each other a call. What was my man's name in Estonia?
Nikita.
Last name?
Oh, don't say that. I don't want to say it. I don't know.
Okay. It wasn't Valentine. Yeah, they need to get together and share some memories right there, because that's good work.
I mean, that's a coach that cares about his team. I know Tommy cares about his team, but I know he cares about, not getting thrown out of games a little bit more. So I don't think we'll see any red cards for Tommy Krzanovich this Friday. But please make sure you stick around on the Action Sports Jacks network this Friday, 24/7 service. We'll have the Jacksonville Armada live here at 7 p.m. at Edward Waters Stadium. All home matches are streamed right here on the Action Sports Jacks app and website. Every Thursday, Fleet and Footy at 2 p.m. But tomorrow night, be there at Edward Waters University when your Jacksonville Armada take on PSCSC in the first home match of the year. Thank you once again for joining me. You'll see me tomorrow night, hopefully, at EWU. And